Through Xie Runan's reaction, Jiang Shan confirmed that what Jiang Yi said was true. The ring is here. I put your watch back in the storage box in the walk-in closet. You're not one for sentimental talk, so I won't say goodbye. Thank you for taking care of me these past few years. Jiang Shan's face and voice were calm. After speaking, she walked towards the entrance. As she passed Xie Runan, he grabbed her wrist. Who told you? Jiang Shan calmly said. Unless you tell me it's not true, discussing this is meaningless. Xie Runan didn't refute her, nor did he let go. Jiang Shan didn't struggle or get angry. Xie Runan, I can accept your infidelity, but I cannot accept you having even the slightest connection with Zhou Yao. Xie Runan's Adam's apple bobbed. I haven't touched her. Jiang Shan, but you will marry her. Xie Runan frowned and fell silent. Jiang Shan, you don't have to marry me, but you can't make me the third party between you and Zhou Yao. The calmer she was, the more Xie Runan's heart ached. All these years, no matter how he played around outside, he always kept his distance from anything related to Zhou Yao, even a casual friend of hers, never getting involved in the slightest. This was because Xie Runan knew that no matter how down and out Jiang Shan was, she would never show any weakness to Zhou Yao. The two stood in a stalemate for a while. Jiang Shan spoke first. Let go? Let's not be melodramatic. Xie Runan pressed his lips together, his masseter muscles prominent. After a long silence, he said in a deep voice, What do you want? As long as Jiang Shan asked, there was nothing, cars, houses, money, he couldn't give her. Jiang Shan said, There is indeed something I want. Xie Runan thought she would ask for the last hotel named after Shenyue. This was very troublesome, not just a matter of money, but if Jiang Shan wanted it, he wasn't unable to. As Xie Runan was thinking, Jiang Shan said, I hope this is the last time we meet privately. If we accidentally run into each other on another occasion someday, let's pretend we've never met. No greetings, no entanglement, no regrets. Let's both look forward. If before it was merely an ache, in that instant, Xie Runan truly felt the sting of a sword through his chest. Looking directly into Jiang Shan's eyes, Xie Runan unconsciously tightened his grip on her wrist. You want to cut ties with me forever? Jiang Shan's expression was calm, but a closer look revealed coldness. What else? Should I go flaunt in front of Zhou Yao that she picked up a man I'd slept with, or wait for her to mock me for daydreaming, that the ring on my finger could just fly off? Xie Runan's face was very pale. He wanted to retort but couldn't speak. Xie Jing'an and Lin Xian had completely blocked his path. Even if they didn't trip up Jiang Shan, simply telling her that the Xie family was partners with those who ruined the Jiang family, one making the Jiang family bankrupt, the other reaping the profits, if Jiang Shan knew, it wouldn't just be cutting ties forever. She'd take him down with her. Gritting his teeth, Xie Runan suppressed his emotions and said, This house is yours. Take any car you like from the garage. And I'll give you an extra. Jiang Shan interrupted. Thank you, but that's my only request. I'd be very grateful if you could grant it. Xie Runan frowned and blurted out. Don't act on a whim. What will you do after leaving me? Jiang Shan. None of your business. She pulled her wrist free, dragging a simple suitcase, and walked out of Xie Runan's mansion alone at 2:30 a.m. The moment the door closed, Xie Runan, enraged, lifted his hand to his head, wanting to chase after her but unable to, finally kicking over the huge 2-meter-tall floor-length mirror in front of him. Jiang Shan left the complex, not daring to go back to her parents' house in the middle of the night, planning to find a budget hotel for a night. Standing by the roadside, just as she was about to call for a taxi on her phone, a black private car stopped in front of her. Jiang Shan's eyes were wary. A few seconds later, the driver's side door opened, and she saw Jiang Yi, whose expression was cool and aloof. Jiang Yi walked up to Jiang Shan, reaching out to lift her suitcase. Jiang Shan pressed his hand down, her tone flat. Why are you here? Jiang Yi replied calmly, waiting for you. Jiang Shan couldn't articulate her feelings. In high school, she had chased Jiang Yi relentlessly for 2 years, but in reality their interactions were few and far between. The most Jiang Yi had ever said to her was, Stay away from me, I don't like you. Sitting in the passenger seat, Jiang Shan said, If you're trying to use me to provoke Xie Runan, forget it. I know better than you how much I mean to him. Besides, we've already broken up. If you want to settle old scores, go find him directly. Don't drag me into it. Jiang Yi looked straight ahead, driving as he replied, I do have scores to settle with him, and there's a purpose to telling you all this. You have to break up with him first before you can be with me. There were indeed only the two of them in the car, yet Jiang Ye's demeanor was as if no one else existed. Out of the corner of her eye, Jiang Shan caught a glimpse of the face she had once yearned for, her expression unwavering. Having the confidence to speak now is certainly different from before. Jiang Yi detected the sarcasm in Jiang Shan's words, but his tone remained unchanged. I knew from a very young age that this world is unfair. Otherwise, why would there be respect for the clothes, not the person, where everyone is human, yet they're divided into rich and poor? Rich people make their affections public knowledge, as if being loved is an honor. The most ridiculous thing is that everyone thinks this way. For a while I really hated you. I had no money, nor did I steal anyone's money, but your affection made my poverty a target for everyone. Jiang Shan, in the passenger seat, was squirming uncomfortably, her ears turning red. Jiang Yi continued, as a child, watching you rich kids turn the school into a chaotic mess, I resented you, resented the school, and even found wealth disgusting. Jiang Shan's hand had tightened on her bag strap without her realizing it. Jiang Yi said lightly, but later I understood that money isn't wrong. Lacking money is. It's hard to be a person without experiencing poverty. One remains eternally naive without facing setbacks. She only understood the true meaning of this saying after she turned 21. I'm sorry was on the tip of her tongue, but Jiang Shan couldn't say it. It wasn't embarrassment, but the realization that a belated apology held no meaning. Jiang Ye's tone was flat, devoid of discernible emotion. I thought I would always hate you, until you publicly cursed Xie Runan and even hit Zhou Yao without any evidence. I suddenly realized that you might genuinely like me, not a condescending tease unrelated to whether your family has money or not. It's just Jiang Shan liking Jiang Yi. The car was dim, but Jiang Shan knew her face must be bright red. She was no longer 16 or 17, and certainly didn't believe someone she hadn't seen in a long time would suddenly stand before her and declare their love. Jiang Shan felt more defensiveness than ambiguity towards Jiang Ye's appearance. But Jiang Yi said, you don't have to believe me. I will prove it to you, just as you once did for me. Jiang Shan didn't even dare to look at Jiang Yi out of the corner of her eye. After a long moment, she finally said, please drop me off at the next intersection. The car stopped. Jiang Shan got out to retrieve her luggage from the back. Jiang Yi was a step faster than her. Before she could speak, Jiang Yi said first, I'll drop you off at the hotel entrance and leave. He kept his word, not even entering the door of the budget hotel. Jiang Shan checked in and went upstairs alone. Even the front desk clerk was murmuring to herself. So beautiful, so handsome, how could they possibly resist each other? Unless they were relatives and within 3 generations. Just as she was thinking this, Jiang Yi pulled open the hotel door and walked in, standing at the front desk. I'd like to book a room, he said. Across from or next to the girl who just checked in would be fine. The front desk hesitated slightly. Jiang Yi then said, that's my girlfriend. Disturbed by Jiang Yi, Jiang Shan didn't even think of Xie Runan anymore. Taking out her laptop from the suitcase, she wrote 2 emails. A resignation letter, which she immediately sent to the general manager of Shangyu Hotel. The other was a resume, waiting to be submitted. It was past 4 in the morning when Jiang Shan lay on the hotel bed, staring blankly at the unfamiliar ceiling. From gritting her teeth, determined to be Mrs. Xie, to breaking up with Xie Runan, it had been barely 20-some hours. Seemingly surreal and trivial, it was, in fact, destiny. Whether she loved Xie Runan or not, she couldn't tolerate him being involved with Zhou Yao, so they were destined not to be together. As for Jiang Yi. Jiang Ye. In Jiang Shan's mind, the faces of the young man and the man gradually overlapped. Almost 10 years had passed. Both she and Xie Runan had changed a lot, but Jiang Yi was the only one who remained the same. Even though he claimed it was wrong to be poor, there wasn't a hint of avarice about him. Only an unapproachable aloofness, just like before. But she was different from before. In the past, she at least had a smell of money about her. Now the money was gone, leaving only the smell of decay. This was Jiang Shan's feeling of intense inferiority the first time she saw Jiang Yi in the hotel room. She wasn't afraid of being down and out, only afraid that the person she once loved so passionately would witness her downfall firsthand. Staying awake until dawn, Jiang Shan changed her clothes, applied a sophisticated full face of makeup to hide her fatigue, and left the budget hotel for Shangyu Hotel. The general manager wasn't working at the hotel. Jiang Shan received a call from him at around 8 in the morning, asking about her reason for resigning. Jiang Shan didn't want to waste time, so she found a legitimate-sounding excuse. Someone in my family isn't well, I need to go back and take care of them. The general manager offered several suggestions, but Jiang Shan refused them one by one. Her mind was made up. The general manager said, all right, filial piety is the foremost of all virtues, I can't keep you. I'll have the HR department process your resignation later. Jiang Shan thanked him and hung up. Opening her laptop, she didn't sit idle but looked at job postings for other hotels in Yunqing. She majored in hotel management in university, but before she even graduated, her family's hotel was gone. Who was she supposed to manage then? The position of PR manager was one Jiang Shan specifically asked Xie Runan for. At the time, Xie Runan even asked her why she didn't want a higher position. Jiang Shan had said, this job is the easiest. Small matters won't reach me, and for big matters I can't solve, I'll come to you. Xie Runan was happy and praised her for being smart. Actually, Jiang Shan hadn't told the truth. She wanted to be in the PR department to leverage the hotel's constant flow of people and make more connections. Now that Jiang Shan was in decline, and her mother was being cared for at home, the entire family would have to rely on her in the future. If there was one thing Jiang Shan had learned in these 4 years, it was that a person must rely on themselves. Neither parents nor a partner could protect her for life. In the middle of this, the front desk called her intercom. Manager Jiang, could you please go to Presidential Suite 02? The guest said you know each other and wants to see you about something. Jiang Shan asked, what's the guest's name? The front desk replied, the room was booked by the guest's assistant. Jiang Shan put down the phone and went upstairs. In recent years, it wasn't that no one had tried to approach her using work opportunities, but after they learned she was Xie Runan's girlfriend, they all gave up. Jiang Shan's thank you to Xie Runan last night was sincere. If Xie Runan hadn't protected her, she would have had a much harder time these past few years. Dealing with one man was always better than dealing with countless men. Jiang Shan arrived at the suite door and found it wasn't fully closed. She pressed the doorbell, but no one answered, so she could only push the door open 2 steps and raised her voice slightly. Hello, I'm Jiang from the PR department. Before her words fell, someone behind the door grabbed her in a hug, one arm around her waist, the other covering her mouth. The moment her neck was bitten, Jiang Shan's hairs stood on end. The other person not only bit Jiang Shan's neck, but also licked her trembling skin with the tip of their tongue. Jiang Shan's arms were pinned, and she couldn't scream, so in desperation, she stomped her foot backward. As if he had anticipated it, the person pulled his foot back the moment Jiang Shan lifted hers, then pushed her forward. The moment Jiang Shan's chest pressed against the wall, her heart went cold. The person behind her clasped both her wrists with one hand, released her mouth with the other, and forcefully pulled her half-skirt up. Jiang Shan twisted her head, her eyes wide with fury. Xie Runan! Xie Runan grabbed Jiang Shan's underwear, impatiently yanked it down, and half of Jiang Shan's buttocks instantly felt cold. He attempted to use his leg to separate Jiang Shan's legs. Jiang Shan struggled fiercely. Let go of me! When she went into a frenzy, she would rather break her arm than yield. Finally, Xie Runan let go, but to his surprise, Jiang Shan turned around and, without a word, slapped him. Slap! The sound was jarring. Xie Runan was completely taken aback, frozen for 3 seconds. Are you insane? Jiang Shan stepped back 2 paces, adjusting her skirt as she said, if you're sick, go to the hospital. Don't come here and act crazy. Xie Runan frowned. I came all this way, intending to coax you out of goodwill. Don't you know how to appreciate it? Jiang Shan's attitude was even worse than Xie Runan's. Did I ask you to come? Xie Runan's face instantly darkened. Before he could speak, Jiang Shan said, we've already broken up. You'd better not appear in front of me again. I don't want to be involved with you or your fiancé in any way. Feeling utterly cursed, she turned to leave. Xie Runan, however, thought Jiang Shan was extremely jealous and grabbed her wrist. Jiang Shan reacted strongly, shaking her hand off forcefully. Don't touch me! Xie Runan took a deep breath, blocking her path. Let's talk. Jiang Shan. I don't want to talk. Xie Runan slightly frowned. I didn't sleep a wink last night and have a headache. Can you please stop making a scene for now, and let's talk calmly for a bit? She was making a scene? Jiang Shan almost laughed out loud. Before she could speak, Xie Runan said, I don't know who told you I'm marrying Zhou Yao, but I swear I have absolutely no relationship with Zhou Yao. We don't even meet privately. My family has an intention for me to be with Zhou Yao, but I haven't agreed. Give me some time, I'll resolve it. If Xie Runan had said this last night, perhaps Jiang Shan might have, for the sake of their 4 years, given him a small percentage of belief? No. Jiang Shan's bottom line was that if Xie Runan showed even half a moment of hesitation between her and Zhou Yao, she would kick him out without hesitation. Just as she said nothing at this moment, Xie Runan was provoked by the blatant disdain in her eyes. Frowning, Xie Runan raised his voice. Don't look at me like that. If I didn't love you, would I come here shamelessly to coax you the moment I heard you were going to resign? You also need to consider things from my perspective. It's not that I'm afraid to offend my parents, it's that I can't let Xinghao offend my parents. Jiang Shan almost blurted out. That sounds really good, but in fact she said nothing, watching Xie Runan, watching him impassioned and generous, self-satisfied in his own performance. Xie Runan said a lot, but the summary was that they wouldn't break up for now, but he also couldn't immediately reject Zhou Yao. Jiang Shan looked directly into Xie Runan's eyes. Do you love me? Xie Runan retorted, irritated. Isn't that a stupid question? Even my own mother has never hit me. Jiang Shan. How much do you love me? Xie Runan recalled that after Jiang Shan left last night, he truly hadn't slept a wink, smoking nearly 2 packs of cigarettes. He realized belatedly that his feelings for Jiang Shan were stronger than he had imagined. Looking back at Jiang Shan, Xie Runan said, You want to be Mrs. Xie? I'll give you that. Jiang Shan curved her lips, smiling much more genuinely than before. Just as Xie Runan was momentarily distracted, thinking Jiang Shan would agree, he heard her say, I don't want it anymore. Keep it and give it to Zhou Yao. Let's see if her love for you is enough to tolerate your other women in bed. Xie Runan's expression changed instantly upon hearing this. Jiang Shan withdrew her sarcastic gaze, walked around Xie Runan and headed for the door. Xie Runan stood motionless, his voice devoid of emotion. Have you thought this through? Jiang Shan didn't turn back. Neither of us felt true love, so there's no debt owed. Like I said, if we're broken up, we're broken up. From now on, we're strangers. She opened the door and left. The door closed. It was like last night, yet different. Jiang Shan resigned that very day, taking some office supplies back to the budget hotel. The first thing she did upon entering was shower. Guessing Xie Runan was playing around was one thing, seeing him with her own eyes was another. Now, with Zhou Yao added to the mix, Jiang Shan felt sick at the thought of even touching Xie Runan. After 3 lathers of shower gel, Jiang Shan was certain Xie Runan's scent was gone. But the mirror showed a distinct hickey on her pale neck, impossible to scrub away, she could only wait for it to fade on its own. Jiang Shan emerged from the bathroom, adopting an out-of-sight, out-of-mind attitude. She had intended to apply for jobs immediately and schedule interviews as soon as possible. But now, because of the hickey, Jiang Shan was temporarily cooped up in the hotel, sleeping daily, ordering 1 takeout meal a day, not setting foot outside. One day, when she left to buy water, she opened her door just as Jiang Yi was about to enter the room across the hall. Jiang Shan froze. Jiang Yi was looking at her, or more accurately, at the faint red hickey on her pale neck. 3 days had passed, and it still hadn't completely faded. Jiang Shan realized what Jiang Yi was staring at, and instinctively changed direction, walking towards the elevator. Jiang Yi didn't follow, much to Jiang Shan's relief. She deliberately lingered downstairs for a long time before heading up. As she turned the corner of the corridor, she immediately spotted the tall figure standing by her door. Feeling awkward, Jiang Shan feigned blindness, didn't greet Jiang Yi, and swiped her card to enter her room. As she was about to close the door, Jiang Yi reached out to block it. They stared at each other through the hand-width gap. Jiang Ye's gaze was piercing, and Jiang Shan's heart pounded like a drum. He pushed, she resisted. After a standoff, Jiang Shan asked, "Is something wrong?" Jiang Yi didn't answer. He simply placed his left hand on the doorframe, then suddenly released his right. If Jiang Shan hadn't reacted quickly and pulled back, the door would have surely caught Jiang Ye's hand. Jiang Shan was startled, her face instantly hardening. "What do you think you're doing?" Jiang Yi suddenly pushed the door forcefully. Jiang Shan took a step back, and he smoothly slipped inside, closing the door behind him. Jiang Shan's face flushed. She wanted to yell at him, but her mouth wouldn't open. Jiang Ye's eyes were fixed intently on Jiang Shan's face. His expression was outwardly cold, yet subtly burning. Jiang Shan lost the staring contest, her eyes darting away. Before she could form a thought, Jiang Yi stepped forward, silent, cupped the back of her head and bent down to kiss her. Jiang Shan wasn't pretending to be stunned, she truly was. It was as if she'd been struck by a soul-fixing spell, standing stiffly rooted to the spot, allowing Jiang Yi to lift her chin and part her lips. His mouth carried a cool, clear mint scent, chilling with a hint of sweetness. By the time Jiang Shan registered the sweetness, she quickly raised her hand to push him away. Jiang Yi didn't budge, holding her even tighter. There was no technique, only a frantic desperation, more akin to fear than eagerness, a fear of being separated the next second. Jiang Shan was kissed until she couldn't breathe, her attempts escalating from pushing Jiang Yi to forcefully pinching his arm. Jiang Ye's body was taut, while Jiang Shan's grew increasingly pliant. A long time passed, so long that Jiang Shan thought she was dreaming. Finally, Jiang Yi rested his forehead against hers, his lips parting, breathing heavily. Jiang Shan's lips glistened. She wanted to swallow but feared making a sound, wanted to get angry but had missed her chance. All that remained was an awkward silence. Jiang Ye's hand, which had been cupping Jiang Shan's chin, slowly moved to the faint red hickey on her neck. Jiang Shan instinctively tried to pull away, but Jiang Yi held her firm, whispering, "Did he bully you?" Jiang Shan's mind went blank and she blurted out, "No." Jiang Yi stared straight at her. "Were you willing?" Jiang Shan seemed to snap out of a trance. After a few seconds, she looked up and said, "If you find it disgusting, don't come on to me in the first place, saving yourself the trouble of needing to rinse your mouth afterwards." Jiang Yi stared straight at her. "Were you willing?" Jiang Shan seemed to snap out of a trance. After a few seconds, she looked up and said, "If you find it disgusting, don't come on to me in the first place, saving yourself the trouble of needing to rinse your mouth afterwards." Jiang Yi realized belatedly, "That's not what I meant." Jiang Shan countered, "Then what do you mean?" Jiang Yi stared intently. "I'm jealous of Xie Runan." He spoke frankly. Jiang Shan countered, "Then what do you mean?" Jiang Yi stared intently. "I'm jealous of Xie Runan." He spoke frankly. Jiang Shan fell silent, blaming herself for being so infatuated just now that she hadn't pushed him away. Her face darkening, Jiang Shan averted her gaze. Get out. Jiang Yi didn't move. I'm sorry. Jiang Shan retorted, piqued. Why apologize? You didn't force me. I was willing. Jiang Shan retorted, piqued. Why apologize? You didn't force me. I was willing. Jiang Yi knew he had spoken wrongly in his confusion. After a moment of silence, he said again, It's my fault. I apologize to you. What can I do to make you not angry? After saying that, he added in a low voice, I'm not good at coaxing girls. Jiang Shan said, You don't need to apologize to me. You're nothing to me. Jiang Yi lowered his gaze, looking down at her. You like me. Jiang Yi lowered his gaze, looking down at her. You like me. Jiang Shan's heart skipped a beat, but her expression remained impassive. A kiss means liking someone? Then there are at least 50 pairs of infatuated men and women in a nightclub every night. We're both this age. Playing innocent isn't appropriate anymore. She deliberately made herself sound like a scumbag, preferring that to admitting she still had lingering feelings for Jiang Yi. Jiang Yi said with a serious expression. I wasn't trying to play games with you. Jiang Yi said with a serious expression. I wasn't trying to play games with you. Jiang Shan was unfazed. But I can only play with you. Before you had no money or power. Now you have everything. Name your price and I'll see if it's worth it. She thought these words would successfully anger Jiang Yi away, but he looked at her for a few seconds. If I say the wrong thing, you can just scold me. Don't talk about yourself like that. He looked at her for a few seconds. If I say the wrong thing, you can just scold me. Don't talk about yourself like that. Jiang Shan's heart clenched. She held back and said, In this world, a fallen phoenix is worse than a chicken. Only the rich are masters. I wouldn't dare offend you. Jiang Ye's eyes were full of helplessness. He blamed himself for speaking too quickly, and even more for not being able to handle the current situation. Jiang Shan had never seen Jiang Yi like this. As a child, he was an extremely arrogant person, haughty and looking down on everyone. When had he ever lowered his head and pleaded with anyone with his eyes? To be honest, with a look like that from him, half of Jiang Shan's resolve melted away. Not wanting to give in was also about not wanting to lose all her boundaries. The room wasn't big and it was terribly quiet. The two stood at the open bathroom door when suddenly a sound came from inside. It was a woman's voice. It was a woman's voice. Jiang Shan thought she was hallucinating. 2 seconds later, the sound came out again, louder than before. Someone was inside the bathroom, but the soundproofing of a budget hotel costing a couple hundred yuan a night was truly limited. What action it was, she didn't know, but the woman's soft, languid moans continued to come out, one wave higher than the last. What action it was, she didn't know, but the woman's soft, languid moans continued to come out, one wave higher than the last. Jiang Shan's face flushed and her heart pounded, and she even heard a sharp ringing in her ears. Seconds felt like years. Jiang Shan stood face to face with Jiang Yi, and he was still gripping one of her wrists. At a certain point, Jiang Shan couldn't help but say proactively, You should go. You should go. She wanted Jiang Yi to leave, but he suddenly lowered his head and kissed her lips again. This time, Jiang Shan pushed him immediately. Jiang Yi firmly cupped the back of her head, pressing her against the wall. The two struggled in silent defiance, but Jiang Shan was naturally no match for Jiang Yi. He pinned her between his body and the wall, his body heat scorching, and in her ears were the stimulating sounds of others making love. In the chaos, she grabbed Jiang Ye's wrist. There were many, one by one, like beads. Jiang Shan glimpsed out of the corner of her eye that 2 strings of beads were peeking out from Jiang Ye's sleeve. One was a multi-faced Bodhi seed bracelet, which she had secretly put in his school bag when she was a teenager. The other, pretty in color but cheap, she had bought a few days ago at the mall for a few hundred yuan. Jiang Shan stared distractedly at the bracelet, while Jiang Yi was already utterly captivated. His lips were on hers, his body inching closer, closer still. Even with not an inch of space left between them, he still ached for more, craving to deepen the moment. As someone who'd been around, Jiang Shan picked up on it right away. She tried to pull back, but Jiang Yi held firm, not budging an inch. She had to admit, even after all these years apart, she wasn't as obsessed with him as she'd been once, but she certainly didn't mind. She even found herself enjoying it a little. They say the toys you longed for as a kid don't feel the same once you can afford them as an adult. She'd thought Jiang Yi would be no different, but reality proved her wrong. He managed to spark her interest no matter the phase of life. Both single and unattached, why not live in the moment and enjoy themselves? With that thought, Jiang Shan suddenly turned her head. Jiang Ye's lips brushed the corner of her mouth, and he pulled back slightly, opening his eyes. Do you have a girlfriend? She asked. Do you have a girlfriend? She asked. No, he replied instantly, then murmured softly, Can I be your boyfriend? Can I be your boyfriend? Instead of answering, Jiang Shan shot back, Any friends with benefits? No, he said. A wife? No, a fiancée? Nothing. I've never been in a relationship. No current or ex-girlfriends, no interest in casual flings or soliciting sex workers. No, a wife. No, a fiancée. Nothing. I've never been in a relationship. No current or ex-girlfriends, no interest in casual flings or soliciting sex workers. Jiang Shan stared at him, half amazed. You're still? Jiang Yi held her gaze, then dropped his head, the tips of his ears flushing bright red. After 3 seconds, he asked, You don't like that? You don't like that? Jiang Shan was lost for words. How to put it? It was hard to articulate. Unsure of what she was thinking, Jiang Ye's voice carried a faint, barely perceptible edge of urgency. You can teach me. I learn fast. You can teach me. I learn fast. Jiang Shan's expression gave away nothing as she said, When we were kids, I just thought you were quiet. I never knew you were so tactless. Confusion clouded Jiang Ye's dark eyes. He had no idea he'd said something wrong. When we were kids, I just thought you were quiet. I never knew you were so tactless. Jiang Shan sighed inwardly. Without warning, she reached out and touched him. Jiang Yi was caught off guard, his shoulders tensing as he almost jerked away. In the next breath, his pale face flooded with color. A warmth surged through Jiang Shan too. Jiang Ye's eyes flickered. Suddenly, he bent down, lifted her into his arms, turned around, and took a few strides before laying her down on the bed. Jiang Shan's vision blurred for a split second as she landed, and then he pressed down on top of her, kissing her fiercely, consuming her entirely. Afterwards, Jiang Shan curled up on her side, still settling some aftershocks in her body. Jiang Yi moved back close to Jiang Shan's side, asking tentatively, Are you all right? Are you all right? Jiang Shan, eyes closed, replied, In what way? Jiang Yi, is there anything making you uncomfortable? Is there anything making you uncomfortable? Jiang Shan said blandly, It was short. Jiang Yi asked seriously, Length or time? Length or time? Jiang Shan thought for a moment, trying to keep a straight face. Time. Jiang Yi, can you go again? Can you go again? Jiang Shan didn't answer. Jiang Yi fell silent. A few seconds later, he leaned in and kissed her. What was once unfamiliar became familiar. As the long night wore on, Jiang Shan could no longer hear the details from next door, her ears filled only with her own soft moans. Jiang Shan didn't leave the hotel for an entire week. The receptionists downstairs, working in shifts, met. One asked, Have you seen anyone from 1201 come down lately? No, have you? Me neither. Yesterday, I was worried something might have happened, so I asked the cleaning lady upstairs. She said she saw them. They're sleeping in 2 rooms, alternating. When she cleans 1201, they go to the room opposite. When she cleans the opposite room, they go back to 1201. Have you seen anyone from 1201 come down lately? No, have you? Me neither. Yesterday, I was worried something might have happened, so I asked the cleaning lady upstairs. She said she saw them. They're sleeping in 2 rooms, alternating. When she cleans 1201, they go to the room opposite. When she cleans the opposite room, they go back to 1201. Those 2 are definitely not a couple. I noticed that a long time ago too. If a couple fights and the girlfriend gets a room, it's understandable for the boyfriend to follow. But once they've made up, there's no need to keep 2 rooms, is there? Those 2 are definitely not a couple. I noticed that a long time ago too. If a couple fights and the girlfriend gets a room, it's understandable for the boyfriend to follow. But once they've made up, there's no need to keep 2 rooms, is there? And they haven't come downstairs for a week. Even a long-distance relationship wouldn't need to be this intense. The woman whispered, A secret tryst? The other replied, I don't know, but the man came down the day before yesterday and bought 3 boxes of condoms. TSK, what a wild one. Good-looking and willing to put in the effort, I'd even approve of a secret tryst like that. And they haven't come downstairs for a week. Even a long-distance relationship wouldn't need to be this intense. The woman whispered, A secret tryst? The other replied, I don't know, but the man came down the day before yesterday and bought 3 boxes of condoms. TSK, what a wild one. Good-looking and willing to put in the effort, I'd even approve of a secret tryst like that. Jiang Shan wasn't truly the type to lose track of time in blissful abandon, like an emperor neglecting court after a short spring night. She had originally planned to wait for the hickeys on her neck to fade before submitting job applications and going for interviews. Instead, Jiang Yi faded them for her by covering them with even darker marks. She only discovered it the next evening and was quite annoyed. Jiang Yi looked innocent. Sorry, I didn't know how hard I was being. I'll be careful next time. Jiang Shan found it hard to tell from Jiang Ye's face whether he was feigning innocence or genuinely apologetic, so she could only let it go. Sorry, I didn't know how hard I was being. I'll be careful next time. The day she and Jiang Yi both checked out, the receptionist's gaze was even more suggestive than theirs. After all, Jiang Shan looked pretty much the same as when she arrived, but Jiang Ye's aura, cold yet laced with desire, instantly betrayed his lack of innocence. Jiang Shan submitted her resume to several other five-star hotels in Yunqing. She wasn't set on being a department manager, she applied for any vacant positions. Within 48 hours, she received all replies. For various reasons, they all led to the same outcome, rejection. Jiang Shan then submitted her resume and made calls to over a dozen four-star hotels. Some directly said, "Sorry, we've just hired someone." Some asked her to wait for a reply, which she did for 2 days, but the results were all negative. Jiang Shan expected this, it was typical of Xie Runan. "Sorry, we've just hired someone." He was just like that. Even if it was his fault, he would find a way to make others humbly come and coax him. Jiang Shan and Xie Runan had been together for 4 years, they had fought and she had lowered her head before. Back then, soon after they started dating, Xie Runan was eager for everyone in their circle to know she was with him, taking her to every gathering. Once, a friend of his, drunk, teased Xie Runan. "I still remember Jiang Shan publicly embarrassing you in school. You went back to the classroom so angry you kicked a hole in the podium, and the teacher pretended to be blind, not daring to ask who did it." Xie Runan smiled then and said nothing, but when they were alone he went wild with Jiang Shan, tormenting her in bed and asking if she still liked Jiang Yi. "I still remember Jiang Shan publicly embarrassing you in school. You went back to the classroom so angry you kicked a hole in the podium, and the teacher pretended to be blind, not daring to ask who did it." Jiang Shan, also having a fiery temper, grabbed her phone and hit Xie Runan in the corner of his eye, requiring several stitches, and then broke up with him. Less than 3 days later, something happened to the Jiang family. The police came to their door, saying Jiang Shengyue was suspected of economic disputes and needed to be taken in for investigation. Saying Jiang Shengyue was suspected of economic disputes and needed to be taken in for investigation. At that time, Jiang Shengyue was still in bed, suffering from the sequelae of a cerebral thrombosis, barely able to speak coherently. In the end, Jiang Shan had to swallow her pride and go back to beg Xie Runan. It was after that incident that Jiang Shan swore she would never again let her parents fall into endless fear. This was a society where those you rely on will eventually fail you, and those you lean on will run away. Being strong yourself was better than anyone else being strong. In the following year, Jiang Shan dealt with all of the Jiang family's outstanding issues, ensuring that no one would ever again come to bother her parents. Looking back, as angry and helpless as she felt then, she was now just as calm and composed. There were countless 3-star hotels in Yunqing. Jiang Shan casually picked one closest to her parents' home and went directly for an interview. They didn't even need to look at Jiang Shan's 5-star hotel work experience. Based solely on her appearance, they offered her the position of lobby supervisor that very day. 6,000 yuan per month, with housing included. Jiang Shan felt this was the good thing about hotel work. Although the salary was only 1/3 of what she earned at Shengyue, it saved her rent money. Jiang Shan started work that day. It was a small hotel where one person did the work of 3. Though she was called a lobby supervisor, she actually had to manage all sorts of miscellaneous tasks. She worked non-stop for 8 or 9 hours, not even eating a meal in between. At 5 p.m., a delivery driver came in and stood at the front desk, saying, "Jiang Shan's delivery." Jiang Shan's delivery. Jiang Shan happened to be there. She hadn't ordered delivery, and just as she was about to ask if it was a case of the same name, her eyes caught the mark on the bag. Her favorite shrimp and eel noodles and some xilongbao from another place. Jiang Shan accepted it and took it to her office. A small room not much bigger than a storage closet, containing a desk, a computer, and an old 2-seater sofa. Jiang Shan set the food down, sat on the sofa, and picked up her phone to send a text message. "Did you send this?" She typed it, then deleted everything, re-entering. "Thanks, you don't need to buy me things in the future." Send. "Did you send this?" "Thanks, you don't need to buy me things in the future." The unsaved number replied instantly. "Free tonight? I'll pick you up." Jiang Shan. "I'm going back to my parents' place tonight." A few seconds later, "Okay," appeared on the screen. "Free tonight? I'll pick you up." "I'm going back to my parents' place tonight." "Okay." Jiang Shan stared at the word, lost in thought, uncertain what Jiang Yi was thinking at that moment. She wasn't intentionally leading him on, she had no intention of being with him at all. They had only slept together a few nights, they weren't in a relationship. The years since Jiang Xingyue's incident, the Jiang family had not only skipped New Year celebrations, but the family of 3 didn't even mark birthdays. Only starting last year, when Jiang Xingyue's health improved, did a hint of a smile return to their faces at the dinner table. Tomorrow was Jiang Xingyue's 50th birthday. After work, Jiang Shan, carrying the ordered cake and gifts, was just across the road from returning home. She hadn't told her mother she was coming back today, hoping to give them a surprise. But when the door opened, Li Bingjie showed no surprise at all, merely smiling and saying, "Come in quickly." Jiang Shan was puzzled. Just as she was about to speak, her peripheral vision caught sight of a pair of leather shoes on the shoe rack by the door. Latanzi, almost 200,000 for this pair. Her expression subtly darkened. Jiang Shan knew who had arrived. Come in quickly. Li Bingjie helped Jiang Shan with her things. Xie Runan also bought a cake. Why did you two buy two? Jiang Shan's expression remained unchanged. This is for my dad. As she spoke, Jiang Shan walked in wearing her slippers. Xie Runan also bought a cake. Why did you two buy two? This is for my dad. Her family used to live in a 5-story villa. Now they resided in a small apartment of just over 50 square meters. Jiang Shan immediately saw Xie Runan sitting on the sofa. Xie Runan looked at Jiang Shan as well. They hadn't seen each other in 3 weeks. Xie Runan had expected Jiang Shan to look haggard after leaving him, but in fact she was radiant, stunning at first glance, even after 4 years of seeing her. He curled his lips, and Xie Runan's voice was gentle. You're back. You're back. Li Bingjie said, you two sit for a bit. I have 2 more dishes, they'll be ready soon. Jiang Shan replied, I'll do it. She took off her coat, preferring to go to the kitchen rather than stay in the living room and look at Xie Runan. Xie Runan stood up. Auntie, please rest. I'll help Shan. Li Bingjie and Xie Runan exchanged courtesies, but she couldn't dissuade him in the end. You two sit for a bit. I have 2 more dishes, they'll be ready soon. I'll do it. Auntie, please rest. I'll help Shan. Xie Runan unbuttoned his silver cufflinks, rolled up his sleeves, and followed Jiang Shan into the kitchen. As soon as the kitchen door closed, Xie Runan reverted to his true self, reaching out to hug Jiang Shan's waist. Jiang Shan knew his character, had anticipated it, and swiftly dodged him. The kitchen was tiny. She leaned against the counter, glaring coldly at the man in front of her, lowering her voice. Xie Runan, don't go too far. Xie Runan, don't go too far. Xie Runan looked at her beautiful face, so close he could almost touch it, his heart aching with desire. He said truthfully, I miss you so much. We haven't seen each other in so long, don't you miss me at all? I miss you so much. We haven't seen each other in so long, don't you miss me at all? His voice softened, coupled with his handsome looks, which easily made women's hearts melt. Jiang Shan had long seen through him, her heart like stone. Is this even interesting? We agreed, no entanglement, no regrets, from now on we'll pretend not to know each other. Is this even interesting? We agreed, no entanglement, no regrets, from now on we'll pretend not to know each other. Xie Runan said, I'm not regretting it. I never agreed in the first place. Jiang Shan's face fell. If you insist on branding me as a mistress, don't blame me for disregarding our past feelings. It's not like I can't find your company's front door, and meeting your parents wouldn't be that difficult either. Do you really want to force me to stand in front of your parents and ask them to control their son? I'm not regretting it. I never agreed in the first place. If you insist on branding me as a mistress, don't blame me for disregarding our past feelings. It's not like I can't find your company's front door, and meeting your parents wouldn't be that difficult either. Do you really want to force me to stand in front of your parents and ask them to control their son? Seeing Jiang Shan get serious, Xie Runan subconsciously frowned, speaking a beat late. The two who gossiped at the wedding, they've already revealed the person behind it. It was someone close to Zhou Yao who spread rumors about me messing around, and they even sent you some photoshopped pictures, deliberately making a fake watch identical to mine. Why did you never tell me when you received them? The two who gossiped at the wedding, they've already revealed the person behind it. It was someone close to Zhou Yao who spread rumors about me messing around, and they even sent you some photoshopped pictures, deliberately making a fake watch identical to mine. Why did you never tell me when you received them? Jiang Shan felt that Xie Runan had a knack for PR, he really had found a good excuse this time. But he probably forgot how outsiders would know those little habits he only had in bed. And those 2 women had never even mentioned him messing around outside. Someone had deliberately set people against him, and he had dared to go along with it, using it to lay false charges. Seeing Jiang Shan remain silent, Xie Runan spoke again. I met Zhou Yao and got some revenge for both you and me. Now our 2 families are on very bad terms, there's no way we could ever be together. I met Zhou Yao and got some revenge for both you and me. Now our 2 families are on very bad terms, there's no way we could ever be together. Are you out of your mind?